I am the sole heiress of the Sterling family. To celebrate my birth, my grandfather searched the globe and had a top-grade emerald bracelet custom made for me, valued at $130 million. And now, my fiancé, Julian Vance, has taken my bracelet without a word, all to make a pair of earrings for his female assistant to match her couture gown. I sent him a message. Return my bracelet immediately. An hour later, the response I got was a trending topic online. Vance Corporation is so extravagant. Even the assistants wear emeralds. I calmly dialed a number. 911. Someone stole my emerald bracelet, valued at over $100 million. Can you tell me what the sentence for that is? When Julian Vance stormed in to find me, I was leisurely sipping coffee in my office. You still have the nerve to be in here drinking coffee. Do you have any idea that you've ruined a young woman's future? I savored the coffee in my hand, not even bothering to spare him a glance. What young woman? How did I ruin her future? Julian, you should know that your words have legal consequences. Before I could finish, Julian slapped the coffee cup out of my hand. Still won't admit it. It's just a stupid bracelet. Amelia Sterling. Did you really have to be so vicious? At the Vance Corporation's gala tonight, so many people watched as Nina was taken away by the police. How is she supposed to face the world now? You are going to call them right now, withdraw your report, and then hold a press conference to clarify that Nina did not steal your bracelet. I stood up and slapped him across the face. Do you even remember that you are my fiancé? She stole my bracelet. Me calling the police is reasonable and legal. Why are you in such a rush? Is it because you two are hiding some unspeakable secret from me? What secret could I possibly have with an assistant? I gave her the earrings so she wouldn't embarrass the Vance Corporation at a formal event. That's all. Julian's eyes darted away, and his voice rose. Can you stop being so unreasonable? As my fiancé, you should be protecting the employees of my company, not calling the police on them in public. By doing this, you're slapping me and the Vance Corporation in the face. Have you ever considered that you are my fiancé? He took my bracelet to make earrings for his assistant, and now he was blaming me for not showing him respect. I let out a sarcastic laugh. Are you a professional gaslighter? How dare you turn this back on me? You're protecting a thief, with you in charge. Maybe you should rename the Vance Corporation the Circus. I only had her arrested. That was me giving you plenty of face. I'm giving you 3 days to bring me my bracelet. Otherwise, the headline, CEO of Vance Corporation arrested for theft. That would be a real slap in the face to your company. I gave a look to my assistant waiting by the door. She immediately walked over to Julian. This way, Mr. Vance. Julian knew I meant what I said. If he continued to argue, he would only lose more face. Amelia Sterling, since you've chosen to be ruthless, don't blame me for being unjust. He threw those words at me and stormed out without a backward glance. For 3 days, Julian didn't call or send a single message. The truth is, it wasn't about the bracelet. It was about his attitude. Our engagement was a business alliance, a match of equals. Over the past 2 years, the Sterling and Vance families had worked more and more closely. Julian had always been courteous and polite to me, and with his model, like good looks, I had inevitably developed feelings for him. But the first time he showed favoritism towards Nina, I took my heart back. Since the feelings were gone, our engagement became a pure and simple business arrangement. No matter how he philandered, as long as it wasn't flaunted in my face, I could pretend I didn't know. But he took my property to please Nina, causing a direct loss for me. And afterward, he showed no remorse. In that case, I had to reconsider whether our engagement should continue. I was contemplating how to minimize my losses and smoothly cancel the engagement when my assistant rushed in with a tablet, forgetting to even knock. MS. Sterling. It's bad. Mr. Vance held a press conference. I took the tablet. A live video of the press conference was playing. In the video, Nina stood in the center, with Julian by her side like a protector. Hello everyone. I am Julian Vance. Regarding the matter of Miss Croft stealing Miss Sterling's bracelet a few days ago, it has now been clarified that it was all a misunderstanding. As you all know, Miss Sterling is my fiancée and the sole heiress of the Sterling family. It's natural for her to be a bit headstrong. On her behalf, I would like to apologize to Nina. Julian bowed to Nina, a smile in his eyes. Nina took 2 steps back. gave a coy smile, and picked up the microphone. Miss Sterling is our Mr. Vance's fiancé, which means she will one day be the mistress of the Vance Corporation. As her subordinate. Of course, I would not blame her. However, it is a bit excessive to waste public resources over a misunderstanding. On behalf of the Vance Corporation, I would like to apologize to everyone again. The video ended there. My assistant explained. Mr. and Mrs. Vance Sr. rushed to the scene and stopped the reporters. They were likely unaware that their son was holding a press conference. I didn't care what Julian's parents thought about it. If my engagement to Julian required his parents to back me up, I would forever be beneath him. As for Nina, it was obvious Julian had bailed her out. I opened the comments section below the video. As expected, it was a firestorm of criticism against me. These capitalist princesses are something else. Accuse someone of being a thief, get them arrested, and then just brush it off as a misunderstanding. As a woman, I can tell you Amelia Sterling is definitely just jealous. If you're jealous, deal with it at home. Wasting public resources is not okay. I'm officially demanding that Amelia Sterling be detained. Filing a false police report has consequences. While I was scrolling through the comments, my assistant stepped out to take a call. She returned with a grim expression. Ms. Sterling, the building is surrounded by reporters, and a lot of people have gone to the police station, demanding you be taken into custody. Ping. A message from Julian popped up on my phone. If you apologize to Nina, I can step in and explain things for you. I emotionlessly tapped my phone twice and replied with a single word. Piss off. Setting aside the fact that I had no reason to apologize to Nina, having Julian explain things now would only make the public more certain that she had been framed. I instructed my assistant. Contact several major media outlets. I will grant them an interview, but it must be broadcast live, right away. Ms. Sterling. The media companies arranged for reporters immediately. In this day and age, who would turn down an exclusive scoop, especially a live broadcast, which was a win for them. The live stream was branded with the Sterling Corporation's name. Within a minute of going live, over 100,000 viewers had joined. I sat calmly before the camera, watching the comments scroll by. So this is Amelia Sterling. She looks average. Wonder what she's like in bed. Hey, police. Caller. You have the nerve to go live after bullying one of us common folk. Now you want to cash in on the drama. She looks so sly and fake. Not nearly as cute as our Nina. No wonder she got jealous. I ignored the comments and signaled for the reporter to begin. The reporter cleared her throat and put on a professional smile. Miss Sterling, is it true, as many are speculating, that you and Mr. Vance are having relationship problems, which is why you jealously filed a false police report and had Miss Croft arrested? Her short question, while appearing to be two, was really a single trap. Julian's press conference had painted Nina as an innocent girl who would smile and forgive even when wronged. In the eyes of the uninformed public, I had become the evil capitalist. Whether I answered yes or no, they would only think I was despicable and making excuses. So I chose not to answer, and instead asked with a smile, if a stranger moved into your house, would you call the police? Or would you choose to live with them? The easiest way to deal with a loaded question is to turn it back on the asker. Of course I'd call the police, the reporter blurted out. She immediately regretted it. By answering, she had handed the control of the narrative to me. I chuckled and looked directly into the camera. My emerald bracelet, valued at over 100 million, was stolen. Of course, I chose to call the police. The comments in the live chat began to scroll faster. Whoa, I'm starting to think this Miss Sterling is kind of cool. A true capitalist. Dodging the question. Twisting the truth. Mr. Vance already clarified it himself. Nina didn't steal your bracelet. Watching the comments, I picked up the photos on the table beside me. This is a surveillance screenshot from 2 weeks ago. My fiancé, Julian Vance, told me he needed my bracelet for a jewelry exhibition to make a good impression. Out of trust, I gave it to him myself. As I finished speaking, the comment section went silent, as if paused. I held up another photo. This is a surveillance screenshot from a jewelry workshop. The footage shows Mr. Vance personally accompanying Miss Croft to deliver the bracelet and a design for a pair of earrings. That is all I have to say. Thank you for watching. After the interview, clips of the live stream quickly spread online. As I had expected, public opinion shifted dramatically. I knew there was a twist. I support the heiress taking legal action. Julian took the bracelet. Amelia suffered the loss. And Nina is facing jail time. The scumbag man gets away with it again. The most innocent one here is Nina. The boss gives an employee a gift. Who would refuse that? Nina innocent. In the video this morning, the way she looked at Julian was practically dripping with desire. Our Mr. Vance, she said, knowingly being the other woman. She's got some nerve. Before I could finish reading the comments, my phone rang. It was Julian. I'm downstairs at the Sterling building. You are coming down right now to apologize to Nina. Do you have any idea that the entire internet is calling Nina a homewrecker? A young woman's reputation has been destroyed by you. Don't you have a conscience? If she can't handle the pressure and takes her own life, Amelia Sterling, you will be a murderer. I laughed, exasperated. The moment Nina put on those earrings, she was destined to pay a price. And you, Julian Vance, as of today, you are no longer my fiancé. Our engagement is over. There was a moment of silence on the other end, followed by Julian's furious roar. Amelia Sterling, how long are you going to keep up this nonsense? I hung up before he could finish. Since I had decided to end the engagement, the joint projects between the Sterling and Vance corporations needed to be divided as soon as possible. When I finally got home after a long day of work, Julian's parents were there, talking with my own. Julian, a stark contrast to his earlier arrogance, took my bag from me. Amelia, you must not have eaten yet. I bought your favorite pear tarts. Would you like one? I coldly pulled away from him and looked at his parents on the sofa. Mr. and Mrs. Vance, are you here about the engagement? At the mention of the engagement, the mood soured. Mr. Vance spoke first. Amelia, we know what this foolish boy has done. Julian has wronged you, but I can assure you, he has not crossed any lines. For my sake, please forgive him this once. Mr. Vance was known for his stubbornness. His current attitude was unexpected. I had thought this would end in mutual destruction, but now it seemed a total victory was possible. Mr. Vance, it's not that I'm unwilling to forgive him, I said, feigning difficulty, and sat down next to my father. Julian used a single assistant to turn public opinion against me, to have me cyberbullied. If I hadn't presented evidence today to prove I didn't file a false report, you would have had to visit me in a holding cell. If I just forgive him like this, what will become of my family's dignity? Mr. Vance, a seasoned veteran of the business world, was not one to grovel twice, especially to someone my age. His face darkened. He could only take his anger out on Julian, turning and slapping him across the face. Instantly, 5 red marks swelled on Julian's pale cheek. Mrs. Vance let out a small cry but couldn't say anything in front of us, only looking at her son with pained eyes. Julian took a deep breath and dropped to his knees with a thud. Amelia, I know I was wrong. I swear I have never had feelings for Nina. I only felt sorry for her. It was my fault, I thought. Since she came from a poor background, I should look out for her a little more. I never thought it would hurt our relationship. I've already sent her to the police station to turn herself in. Whatever her sentence is, that's her fate. Let's not break up, please. I promise I will be completely devoted to you. Please forgive me. He spoke with such sincerity, as if he would rip his own heart out for me in the next second. But I had seen his true colors. His performance now only made me sick. But I had to play my part in this drama. I pulled him to his feet, holding up my bare wrist. My bracelet can't be restored. My grandfather spent $130 million to have it made for me. Now that he's gone, it was the only thing I had left to remember him by. You have to give me that plot of land in South City. Only then will I forgive you. This. Julian looked at his father, hesitating. Mr. Vance frowned, thought for a long moment, and then said through gritted teeth, Fine. As long as you two are happy, and the Vance and Sterling corporations can continue to work together for a long time. It's just a plot of land. Whatever makes Amelia happy. Tomorrow, I'll have Julian deliver the agreement to your office. After the Vances left, my father looked at me with an all-knowing expression. You clearly wanted to end the engagement, but you changed your mind halfway through. Tell me, what are you scheming? And don't tell me you actually want that plot of land in South City. The South City plot was valuable, but not valuable enough for me to sacrifice my own marriage. What I wanted was the entire Vance Corporation. From the moment Mr. Vance started speaking, I felt something was off. Although breaking the engagement would cause losses for both families, it wasn't enough to make him beg for forgiveness so humbly. That's why I deliberately demanded the South City land as compensation for my bracelet. The fact that he agreed, albeit reluctantly, meant he wanted something more important from me, and what I could give him was the alliance between our two families. The Vance Corporation, I suspected, was a paper tiger, but this was just a guess. Until I had proof, I wouldn't reveal my plan. I waved my hand playfully. What scheme? My $100 million bracelet is gone. Isn't it only fair that I get a piece of their land in return? All right, the child has had a long day, my mother said, shooting my father a disapproving look. She put her arm around my shoulder. You can do whatever you want. Just one thing. Don't let yourself be wronged. The next morning, Julian delivered the agreement to my office. Julian, who was always impeccably dressed, looked haggard and disheveled today, as if he hadn't slept all night. After signing, he took out the breakfast he had bought for me. Your stomach has always been sensitive. Eat something before you get busy. Before, I was the one trying to maintain the illusion of a happy couple. Now, the tables had turned, and I just found it laughable, not wanting to be in the same room with him. I feigned concern. Did you not get any rest last night? Julian froze, then awkwardly touched his nose. Yeah, I had a little trouble sleeping. Then you should go home and rest. I have a meeting soon, so I won't see you out. Julian, having been rebuffed, didn't linger. He said a quick goodbye and left. After he was gone, my assistant brought me a file. It contained the financial records of the Vance Corporation for the past 3 years. The profits seemed to be increasing year after year, but after deducting costs, they were actually losing hundreds of millions annually. If I hadn't had someone investigate thoroughly, who would have known that the Vance Corporation was on the verge of collapse? Have you verified things with Nina? I asked. My assistant's expression grew serious. Nina did indeed turn herself in last night. She is currently being held at the detention center. However, the Nina in custody is an imposter. I knew it. Julian had made such a big show of protecting Nina. He would never have sent her to turn herself in so easily. Check if Julian went to the airport last night. My assistant quickly found the information. Julian had indeed been at the airport. He had found someone to take Nina's place and turn herself in. He had given Nina a new identity and sent her abroad. Looking at the flight information, I couldn't help but wonder, was Julian an idiot? Or did he think I was one? Did he really think such a simple trick could deceive me? Seeing my silence, my assistant asked in a low voice, "Ms. Sterling, should I contact the police?" My gaze fell on the breakfast Julian had brought. An idea formed in my mind. I took a photo of the breakfast and posted it online. Caption: "Thank you for the breakfast, my love." And I tagged Julian's personal account. The public had just consumed our drama yesterday. The buzz around us hadn't died down. My post quickly went viral, even being shared internationally. This way, no matter where Nina was hiding, she would see it. I had my assistant arrange for some online influencers to comment. Soon, my post was flooded with romantic comments. So sweet. The domineering CEO becomes a breakfast delivery boy. The real couple is the best ship. Who says there's no true love among the rich? A match made in heaven is so wonderful. When Mr. Vance saw the trending post, he thought the South City land had not been given in vain. He ordered Julian to bring me breakfast every day to cultivate our relationship. Of course, the breakfast Julian brought was thrown in the trash every day after I took a photo. Thanks to my persistent posting, Julian and I became the poster couple for true love among the elite. And every post had a view from the same international IP address. When Julian's business trips abroad became more and more frequent, I knew my plan had succeeded. In Nina's mind, she and Julian were on the same team, and I was their common enemy. Every post of mine was a stab in the back from Julian. When Julian returned from another business trip, I made a point of picking him up at the airport. Then we went straight to a luxury mall, bought the latest limited edition handbag, and I immediately posted a photo. They say where the money is, the love is. Thank you for the limited edition bag, my love. That night, Julian sent me a message saying he had some unfinished business abroad and had to fly back immediately. I yawned, rolled over, and went back to sleep. The next evening, news of Julian Vance's secret rendezvous with his mistress abroad, spending a fortune to buy her top-tier jewelry, spread across the internet. I immediately informed the Vance family that the engagement was off. Julian's parents came to my house again. After being turned away by my parents, they came directly to my office. Amelia, the media always exaggerates. You have to trust Julian. I sneered and threw a high-resolution photo on the table. The photo was a clear shot of Julian and Nina's faces. I pointed at Nina in the photo. I don't think I need to introduce this person, do I? I gave Julian a chance. He didn't cherish it. The engagement is off, and that's not up for discussion. Thanks to Julian's press conference, I had learned the power of the media. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had someone follow him and get these photos. After the Sterling Corporation pulled its investments, the Vance Corporation's cash flow became even tighter. The shareholders united to demand Julian's removal as CEO. Julian rushed back from abroad. The first thing he did was come to my office. I had my assistant show him the photos and told him that if he continued to bother me, I would release the high-definition close UPS of him and Nina to the public. Julian tore the photos to shreds on the spot. A moment later, I received a message from him. Amelia Sterling, you dared to plot against me. I looked at my phone and raised an eyebrow, then blocked him. Just figuring that out now. A little late, don't you think? A month later, the Sterling Corporation began construction on its joint project with the government in South City. The Vance Corporation, on the other hand, had a project they had secured fall through at the last minute. The other party turned around and signed a contract with me. The next time I saw Nina was at a business gala. She approached me. Miss Sterling. Long time no see. She was wearing a handmade, diamond-encrusted couture gown, and around her neck was the very same necklace Julian had spent a fortune on. I swirled the red wine in my glass, not even bothering to look up. Julian is becoming more and more undisciplined. Bringing a thief to an event like this. My voice was not loud, but it was just loud enough for those around us to hear. The entire hall fell silent. Then, someone recognized her. Isn't that Nina Croft? Why did Mr. Vance bring her here? Look at what she's wearing. She looks like she wants to be encrusted in diamonds. So tacky. So what? She's the mistress who got promoted. Maybe she'll be the next Mrs. Vance. Nina's face turned livid as she became the center of attention. Seeing this, Julian quickly walked over and put his arm around her. Amelia Sterling, I never realized you were so vicious. The engagement is off. The South City land has been given to you. We owe each other nothing. Why are you still bullying Nina? Before he could finish, a glass of red wine was splashed in his face. The South City land was what I was owed. And let me remind you, not only is Nina a thief, you are her accomplice. Our public confrontation was the talk of the town. The heads of major corporations were content to watch the show. Most of the smaller businesses began to choose sides, thanks to the drama at the gala. Another project Julian had been negotiating fell through. After all, as the CEO of the Vance Corporation, he represented the entire company. No one wanted to work with someone who couldn't distinguish right from wrong and was emotionally unstable. Within 2 months, the hashtag Vance Corporation unpaid wages was trending. An employee revealed that he hadn't been paid in 3 months. If this continued, he would default on his mortgage. When he tried to resign, the company refused to give him a severance package. This news caused the Vance Corporation's stock to plummet. The story of Julian's affair was also dug up again. I have a reasonable suspicion that he embezzled company funds. Otherwise, how could he afford to buy a multi-million-dollar piece of jewelry for his mistress, but not have money to pay his employees? Millions or nothing. He took his fiancé's $100 million emerald bracelet and had it made into earrings for his assistant. With a boss like that, the Vance Corporation is doomed to fail. Under pressure from public opinion and the authorities, Julian was forced to take out a loan to pay the back wages. Mr. Vance was so angry he was hospitalized. Now, Julian had only 2 options: make a spectacular comeback, or bleed out until the company went bankrupt. He chose the former. He took on a steel project with a delivery deadline of only 1 month. The project had high profits, but if it hadn't also had an astronomically high penalty for breach of contract, it wouldn't have fallen into his lap. He was at the point of desperation. The Vance factories worked day and night, but by the deadline, they had only produced half the required amount. To deliver on time, Julian had to buy the rest from other companies, and the only company that met the quality standards and had the stock on hand was mine. When Julian came to me, I naturally didn't miss the opportunity to make a profit. After hearing my price, he froze. Amelia Sterling. This is price gouging. Remembering he needed my help, his tone softened. Amelia, you know this project is crucial to the survival of the Vance Corporation. For the sake of our long history together, please help me. I have no history with you to speak of, I said, pushing the purchase agreement towards him. Cash on delivery. If you want to play the sympathy card, the door is on your left. Don't let it hit you on the way out. Julian signed the contract through gritted teeth. As he was leaving, he suddenly turned back. Amelia Sterling. I will make a comeback. Just you wait. I instructed my assistant to ensure the delivery was made exactly on schedule. As the days passed, Julian's calls, demanding the delivery, were incessant. I always replied patiently, don't worry, Sterling Corporation will deliver on time. On the final day of the delivery period, Julian personally led a group of men, trying to force their way into the Sterling warehouse. I sent word that if he dared to force his way in, I would call the police immediately. In the end, on the same day that news broke of the Vance Corporation defaulting on its contract and facing a massive penalty, Sterling Corporation had the entire shipment delivered right to the front of the Vance Corporation building. Mr. Vance, still in the hospital, suffered a cerebral hemorrhage upon hearing the news. He was in emergency surgery for a full day and night before he was stabilized. He was alive, but he would be bedridden for the rest of his life. While Julian was scrambling to deal with the penalty, I sent him an acquisition agreement. He looked at me, his eyes filled with rage. Are you satisfied now? You could have saved me. You could have saved my company. But not only did you do nothing, you plotted against me, forcing me to face this massive penalty. My father is lying in the ICU right now. Aren't you afraid of retribution? I tapped my fingers on the desk. Your father's illness was caused by your own foolishness. It has nothing to do with me. Out of respect for him, the acquisition price the Sterling family is offering is enough to cover the penalty and his future medical expenses. This is now your only way out. Julian stared at me, panting heavily. In the end, he signed the contract. In an instant, he seemed to deflated, lost. If I had never taken your bracelet back then, would everything be different? I didn't answer him, because in this world, there are no what-ifs. A person will always pay the price for their actions. As I was putting the contract away, Nina burst in. I knew you two were still seeing each other. She took out her phone and started recording me. I'm going to post this online, so everyone can see that the great CEO of the Sterling Corporation, the heiress of the Sterling family, is a homewrecker. I frowned and knocked the phone out of her hand. Nina went berserk, lunging to pull my hair. Julian stepped in front of me, blocking her. That's enough. Haven't you caused me enough trouble? I caused you trouble. Nina pointed at herself, her face a mask of disbelief. You were the one who couldn't stand Amelia Sterling's princess attitude and made a move on me. Now that she's dumped you, you think it's all my fault. Are you even a man? They continued to struggle all the way downstairs. Julian tried to drag her away. They were met by 2 police officers, Julian Vance, Nina Croft. You are suspected of coercing another to take criminal responsibility, identity theft, and aiding a fugitive. You are under arrest. 3 months later, the court case began. The evidence was irrefutable, and the circumstances were egregious. They were both sentenced to life in prison. The successive blows caused Julian to have a complete mental breakdown. After a violent outburst, he became mentally unstable. When he was lucid, he would curl up in a corner, muttering to himself, "Shouldn't have taken the bracelet. Shouldn't have taken the bracelet." When he had an episode, he would often mistake others for Nina and attack them. He suffered a great deal in prison because of this. But I knew none of this, because I had officially taken over the Sterling Corporation. I was busy planning my next big moves, how to build an empire. Men, I couldn't care less.